Now, lots of birthday wishes from the rest of the family, but obviously there is one glaring omission in the happy birthday, and that's from his brother.
Well, I'm afraid that rift does not seem to me, it doesn't seem any chance at all of it being solved. And the reason is obvious, very clear. The royal family, and most particularly William and Catherine, I think, they don't trust the Sussexes, and with good reason.
Yeah, I mean, talking of the Sussexes, also with immaculate timing, she always does this, doesn't she? Meghan Markle has chosen, I think it was yesterday, she actually did it rather than today, to reveal a trio of new products under her lifestyle brand as ever, including a Napa Valley wine. This is a new one.
Yes, it is. And in fact, before I judge how this goes, I'd like to taste it myself. Now, that involves a certain sacrifice because I would be paying and some of it might, well, benefit her. But I actually am very fond of Napa Valley champagne, so I'll have to see that what rosé wine apparently is supposed to be preferred for women. So I read. I'm looking forward to trying it, and I'll make my judgment. I'm assuming that by the time it reaches Britain, there will still be stops that either haven't been sold out. There are lots of reports that this was arranged. I mean, at least she's trying something new and trying something more positive. What I object to, of course, is the way they constantly attack the royal family. And, of course, they're completely unpredictable. A lot depends on Netflix and how that contract goes. I have to say, frankly, if they don't succeed in getting at least some link with Netflix, it looks as if she will because they're behind her products, then I think they might do more destructive pieces, and I hope that does not happen. I mean, what we've seen in the last few days, I mean, we're tripping the colour with the Garter service, with the magnificent Royal Ascot. You know, you've seen the royal family on show as part of Britain's PLC that no one else in the world can match.
It would be nice, seeing as Catherine obviously didn't make her Royal Ascot this year because of her health issues, that maybe, just maybe, the Sussexes could ease off on the using their family to sell themselves, basically.
I doubt it, because they know very well the moment their family comes into it, their brand has sufficient pull to give them worldwide publicity. That's why they don't show their children's faces for a long time, and then when they do, and then that's news and so forth. Yes, Catherine's being in remission. She's balancing events very carefully. I think that, I mean, Royal Ascot is absolutely magnificent. I went on 4 of the days. William was there. He presented the trophy, and a huge thing from the Victorian era. You couldn't really pick it up for the Prince of Wales' stakes. Let's hope, however, that Catherine is there next year, but her health comes first.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Richard. That's royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams there. Thank you very much.
Hey, squad, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today because this episode, we need to talk. The headlines have been flying again. The media is frothing at the mouth over the supposed downfall of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Why? Because their Netflix deal is coming to an end. And now the so-called royal experts are trying to paint this like it's some kind of grand failure. But you already know, we're not about to let that narrative slide unchecked. Let's be very clear from the jump. This isn't the loss they're making it out to be. This is a transition, it's a pivot, and it's not a bad thing. It's a natural evolution of a 5-year deal that was signed back in 2020. 5 years, people. 5 years of owning their story, producing content on their own terms, and stepping far away from a toxic, outdated institution that tried to muzzle them at every turn. Now we've got these so-called insiders and royal experts. You know the ones. People who haven't spoken to Harry or Meghan a day in their life, saying Harry is going to have a harder time transitioning than Meghan. Why? Because he's not comfortable in LA and apparently doesn't have the same earning potential. Oh, please, spare us. The only people uncomfortable with Harry in LA are the British tabloids. They can't stand the fact that he left the royal circus and is actually thriving in peace, raising his kids in a home filled with love, not protocol. That's what bothers them, not his comfort level, not his bank account. They just can't stomach that Harry got out and won. Let's also not act like this Netflix deal was some sad little flop. Let's go back and remember what Harry and Meghan, the documentary, actually did. It pulled in 81 million viewing hours in its first week. That's more than most Netflix documentaries will ever see. It broke records, it dominated conversations, it put their truth on the world stage, and the world listened. The media conveniently forgets that. They don't want to remind you that millions of people watched that docuseries and walked away with more respect for Harry and Meghan than ever before. Because that goes against the smear campaign they've been running since 2017. So now, because Meghan's lifestyle series With Love, Meghan didn't break the top 300 shows on Netflix for the first half of 2025, they're saying it's a failure. They're acting like 5.3 million views is an embarrassment. Really? 5 million people tuned in, and that's a problem? I don't see them writing articles when Prince Edward launches a project that 3 people watch. It's the selective outrage for me. It's the double standard. If Meghan cures cancer, they'll say she's being attention-seeking about it. If Harry builds a school, they'll say he's copying Diana. This media machine is broken. And if you're here, you already know. We're not letting that nonsense fly. Not on our watch. Now let's talk about the expert who keeps popping up in these reports, Jenny Bond. She says this Netflix money probably won't sustain them for life. Okay, first of all, how is that her business? Second of all, let's be real. They're doing just fine. And unlike certain other royals, they aren't living off taxpayers or cutting shady backdoor deals with tabloids to stay in favour. Jenny also made this condescending little comment about Montecito being expensive, like Harry and Meghan didn't think about that before moving. Please, these are 2 intelligent, strategic people. Harry didn't serve in Afghanistan, walk away from the firm and build an entire foundation from the ground up just to forget to pay the mortgage. What gets me is the way they try to make Harry sound lost or helpless. They paint him as this out-of-place prince stumbling around LA while Meghan takes the limelight. It's both sexist and patronising. As if Harry hasn't been running major charitable efforts, speaking at the UN, launching Invictus Games initiatives and writing record-breaking books. Harry isn't lost. He's evolving. He's shedding the version of himself that the palace tried to control. He's becoming the man his mother raised him to be, someone with a voice, a purpose, and a deep sense of justice. And he's not doing it for applause. He's doing it for his family, for Archie, for Lilibet, for Meghan, for himself. And Meghan? Let's talk about her for a second, because the way they keep trying to reduce her to just an influencer is wild. Meghan doesn't need a ring light and a promo code to be powerful. She's already a global brand. She's smart, intentional, and respected. She doesn't chase relevancy, it chases her. And yet the media keeps obsessing over how she failed because her show didn't stay in the top 10. Mind you, the show did hit Netflix's global top 10 within 24 hours of release. That's no small feat. But again, they pretend that didn't happen. They act like her accomplishments don't count unless they meet some impossible, constantly shifting standard that no one else is held to. Let's not forget, she is the same woman who launched a podcast that topped Spotify charts before the platform pulled a shady U-turn. She's the same woman who can move millions with a single word, a single post, a single outfit. Her power doesn't come from viewership numbers, it comes from her authenticity. This is the blueprint, folks. Meghan is showing other women of colour, that you can walk away from institutions that try to dim your light, that you can define yourself on your own terms, that you can thrive even when the press is rooting for your downfall. And Harry is showing men that being strong doesn't mean being silent, that protecting your wife and kids doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful. That you can unlearn toxic conditioning and build a new legacy. So when people say the Netflix deal is over and it's the end of the road for the Sussexes, I laugh, because they're missing the point completely. This wasn't just a deal, it was a stepping stone, a foundation, a launch pad, and it worked. They've built credibility, they've built reach, and now they're going to build more. Let me tell you something, Netflix isn't cutting them off, they're just shifting the relationship. First-look deals are still in place, collaborations are still possible. It's not over, it's evolving. But of course, evolution doesn't sell papers, does it? So the media spins this whole fantasy about Harry being miserable and Meghan being desperate because the reality that they're thriving is too uncomfortable to print. But we're not buying it, not here, not on this channel. We've seen the lies. We've seen the spin, and we're done. Harry and Meghan are not the problem. They're the solution. They're a breath of fresh air in a toxic royal environment that's allergic to accountability. And no matter how many times they try to knock them down, the truth will always rise. Because people are watching, people are learning, and the world is waking up. If you're still here with me, thank you. Thank you for being part of the Royal Sussex squad. Thank you for refusing to be manipulated by biased press. Thank you for standing with Harry and Meghan when it would have been easier to stay silent. Earlier this week, it was revealed that the streaming giant would not seek to renew a deal with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The couple inked the multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix after stepping down as working royals in 2020. However, the 5-year Netflix contract, established through their production company Archwell, has yielded limited success beyond their initial documentary Harry and Meghan. Sources now suggest the poor reception and uninspiring viewing figures of subsequent projects mean the US streamer will not enter discussions with the Sussexes on extending their deal. Nonetheless, veteran royal expert Jenny Bond believed the securing of the deal to begin with was quite an achievement for Harry and Meghan. She added the project will have been undoubtedly extremely lucrative for the couple. For most people, that sort of money would set them up for life, the expert continued. Bond believed that would not be the case for the Sussexes and their California lifestyle. But Montecito is luxurious and expensive, so they will have to find other streams of income, she observed. To that end, the expert expected the transition to be harder for Harry than Meghan. She felt the Duchess has every chance of making a lot of money as an influencer, compared to her husband, who had not explored such avenues. Bond had previously deduced that Harry was coming to recognise that the LA celebrity world is one in which he is not especially comfortable. She believed he was more than happy for his wife to be their public-facing side in that realm and take the limelight. While no official announcement has been made, it is expected that Netflix will allow their contract with the Sussexes run its course. The streaming giant remains open to working with the couple on one-off projects in a more informal arrangement, and will have the right to take the first look at projects the Sussexes pitch. The second season of Meghan Markle's lifestyle programme With Love Meghan will still be released on Netflix later this year. However, the uninspiring viewing figures of the first offering are believed to have contributed to Netflix's decision. With Love, Meghan failed to secure a place amongst Netflix's 300 most-watched shows for the first half of 2025. The show attracted just 5.3 million views, placing it at number 383 on the streaming platform's rankings. Rather ingloriously, the programme matched decade-old content in views, rivaling figures for the 2014 second series of Peaky Blinders and the fourth series of Suits from 2011, the legal drama that originally featured Meghan. On release, the series entered Netflix's global top 10 within 24 hours, but saw viewership rapidly declined following a wave of critical reviews. I want to ask you right now, if this episode resonated with you, if you believe in truth, dignity, and supporting those who dare to challenge the system, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and if you're able to, click that super thanks button to help support this platform. It takes all of us to push back against the noise, and here in the squad, we're not backing down. Until next time, stay bold, stay proud, and stay loyal to the truth.